Good morning everyone, so today we're at a Vauxhall Meriva B 2010. So this is a 1.4 XER engine code LDD Lima Delta Delta. So the problem with this car is no crank, no start, no anything. So let's do a scan, see what comes up. So there we go, we've got lights on the dash. So foot in the clutch, foot in the brake. Let's crank her over. Nothing. Dash goes dim, which is normal. Nothing there. Another thing is, before it done this, the customer said the clock reset itself. Oh, well, he must have set it again. But it did reset itself. So here we go. A full scan, so it did not automatically recognise it through a VIN read. So this is where the OBD socket is. Silly placing this. So we'll do a scan LDD, and I can guarantee you that it'll not be reading the engine ECU. Oh, there we go. For blank, where have we got to get a whole load of blanks? Let's see if we get anything. Oh, there we go. We're communicating with the electronic brake control module. So let's do a scan, see if it comes up. So the results of the scan are in, and you see power supply low voltage, so battery's getting a bit low. CAN bus no comm with the ECM. There we go. CAN bus no comm with the SIM, that's in the steering module. Invalid. CAN bus communication control module. Lost comm with the engine. Lost comm with power steering. That's in the body control. System voltage. The rest it can speak to. So we can only speak to the brakes, the power steering, the parking brake, steering angle sensor. So I thought maybe the easiest thing to do is, because it does not communicate with the engine control module, let's go after that first of all and see if indeed the ECM is powered up. So the easiest way to figure out if the ECM is powered up is just to pick a random sensor and see if there's a 5 volts or 12 volts in it. So maybe this one here, that's the camshaft position sensor there. That should have 5 volts, so let's go after that and see if we have 5 volts. I very much doubt it, but it's always worth checking. And if there's no 5 volts there, you're then going to check power and grounds, but you would first check the relays first of all. The other thing I was going to say, where is the ECM on this? I haven't a clue. Is it down the back there maybe? Used to be. Don't know. So I've popped out that little connection there for the camshaft sensors. One of the camshaft sensors, I would imagine that's on the exhaust side. So I've just went into my first pin there, and you can see on the power probe we have 0.72 volts. Kind of meaningless figure that, but we'll just go to the next pin and see what we have. On the middle pin, ignore that little wire there. The middle pin there, so our voltage is 0.02, and you can see our green thing is lit, so that means it's a ground. So if we hit the buzzer, you know that's a ground. And let's go to the last one, and that's just on our last pin there, and that is 0.045. So indeed, that computer is partially powered up, I would say. So it looks like it's got a voltage drop. We're looking at these figures. So let's go back. We've either got a power issue, or a ground issue, or a computer issue. So let's go over here. Now I checked my wiring diagram. So what I did, I took my box inside and I just dabbed it with some yellow paint, all the fuses I have to check. So apart from that, that's number 8 is the relay there. So I'll show you that. So that's that one there, is that one there. So that's the main relay. And then fuse number 5, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the fuse to the relay. Now the rest, let me see, 6. We've got to check that for fuel injection. And then we've got to check these fuses down there. You can see, I think that says 17, 18, 20 and 21. 17, 18, 20, 21. So we need to check all these ones along the bottom. So let's go and do that next. So let's check our fuses along here. So I'm just checking my battery voltage. And indeed that's a bit low, but it shouldn't make much difference for this test. So let's go for our first fuse. Fuse number 5, that's for the main relay, so that's the 5 amp here. Power on that. And power at the other side, so that's good. So let's check our first ECM fuse. He's got power. And he's got power. So these two fuses here check out alright. So let's go and check these fuses along there. Starting at this end. So, oh, there's something funny. So that's finding a ground, and it's not getting a ground. Strange. Go to the other side. Exactly the same symptom. Oh, something funny here. Ground coming and going. Even though they're meant to be powered. That one's good. That one's good. Even that's no ours though. And then we come along to this one. That one's good. That one's exactly the same. So is that one. So he's got a ground. He's got a permanent ground, but that one, so we didn't need to worry about that one or that one. These two don't worry about, it's this one. So I wonder if we feed that power. Alright, Lionel. Right now. There's nothing there. Let's try this one. Nothing there either. I'll go to this one. Nothing. He's got power. So we need to look at a wiring diagram to see indeed what feeds these fuses. So we're on the hunt. Let's go for this. So just thought I'd just do a quick check in my DLC for ground. So you can see 4 and 5 will have a ground there. And we're communicating on 1, 3, 6 and 14. That's our main CAN high speed. We'll get this beeping because the voltage is low. Get a power supply on it. Right, let's look at the wiring diagram. Pop out the main relay. So you can see that oh, the two big ones, that one and that one, is the power. One will be power and one will be output to the ECU. And the two small ones will be the latching bit. So let's go and check that. So this will be the main power supply, or where it's supplied. Oh, that's exactly the same. So we're not getting a good ground. For the other side we've got a good 12 volts. No bother. There you go, we've got that at that side, so that's the latching side. So we then need to feed that power. Makes no difference. So with these funny bits happening on the fuse, voltage coming and going and very low and everything like that, looked at the wiring diagram, and to feed this fuse box, it comes into here, so look, that's good, and that's fed for this big fuse up here. Now we know that's good because it's going into the box, but never mind anyway. So what I thought the next step would be, right, see this fuse here? Remove the fuse and see which side this is happening on, this voltage fluctuation. So we remove that fuse there, right? So it's usually the top of the fuse that's the feed and the bottom's the load. So if we go into there, you can see I've not got any power. Hopefully I'll make a good connection here. Got no power. Oh, we've got something slightly, but it's the other side. It's that bottom end, so it's like the load side is doing all that fancy stuff. But how have I not got any power there? So what we've done, we went into the main relay. You see that down there? I've got my two wires bridged into that. There we go. We're on that side there. So my main relay bridged out. I have now got power on both sides of the fuses that I need. Right, so that's good. So when we then do an amps clamp round about this, you can see that we have absolutely no power consumption on that relay, and that's the relay it feeds the computer. So it's back once again to the we need to go back to the computer and find powers and grounds in that, because even when I bridge that out, I'm not getting any clicking for the engine bay, nothing like that at all, and the computer simply is no powering up. So I removed the battery tray. That's just 2 bolts here, and that splits, and lo and behold, look what's underneath it. Here is the very guy that I'm looking for. Now he looks quite clean and dry, so I think we're going to go there and check out powers and grounds at the ECU. So we've got the ECU out, we've got a wiring diagram, and what we've done, we've bridged the relay. The key is on, so you can see here, what pin's that, Roddy? A14. So A14, that's lighting, and then it's A3, Roddy, was it, or A12? A12 hit lights, and then we only need A3 now. So these are all good. So we have 3 inputs. Then we had our earth pin on the big multi-plug. I'll show you in this. See that big pin there? That's the earth, and that checks out fine. So the earth's on the B plus, the B pin, and all the powers are on this little 56 pin plug. A3, A12 and A14, so they check out. So only thing left to check is our CAN lines, and if that's good, we then can tame this guy. This multi-plug, you can see there we're into, is it 10, Roddy?
10, aye.
So that's pin A10 on the 56 plug. So that's a good CAN signal, right? And then we're going to the next plug, next one, A11. Oh, and that's a good CAN signal. It's alright, it's a trigger right there. So there's nothing else to do bar condemn that ECM. Everything's there that it needs. 3 powers, a ground, and 2 CAN signals. We'll check our diagram again, but I think that's off-ski. So what killed it? That's a question. So the new PCM has arrived. Got this one off eBay. So you can see the guys sent the code with it. You need this, so it says 8361. So we need that to code it back in. Here's the old one. It looks in a better condition than the new one. Never mind. So just a gotcha here. See these plugs? These were so tight to come off. You've got to push this bit down, then retract it. Oh, I couldn't get it the first time, but it's off now. So let's put the new one in. And then what we need to do, we've not got the passcode for this actual car. We need to go to the main dealer and get that, I think. Not unless anybody else has got another idea for how extracting it. But we've got the code for this one. So I'll maybe use Comm to try and code this back in once I get the code. But let's just see if we can communicate with this module now. Or indeed, when we turn the key, we get a bit click and things start to power up, even though it'll not crank or start. So this is looking hopeful. So we plugged the PCM in, and it auto-scanned it, and you can see it's came up. So I would imagine that VIN comes off the new stroke second-hand ECU. But it's communicating, so let's see if we can communicate with the ECM. Right, Roddy! So it thinks it's a 2011 Astra J, but it's exactly the same ECU. So let's go health reports, smart scan. So there we go, we've got 5 codes in it. So we need to change the VIN code, and we need to code it in to get rid of the mobiliser light. So let's hope with this being an Astra J, it works. But it's exactly the same numbers on the ECU for Meriva B as Astra J. So it's still going through its scan. So you can see we have communication with the ECM. So immobiliser, lost comm with transmission, lost comm with the fuel pump control. So we need to tell it it's not got these things on it. We need to do the CAN configuration, I think it is. So certainly no crank. Let me see. Turn the key on, off. We can actually, I can hear clicking now, so that's good. So let's go and get the pin code for the main dealers for this and see what we can do with it. So I thought I'd try under, let me see. So we're on the top down. I thought I'd try under services to see if we could code this in. So I tried ECU reset, right? Okay. Okay. And it only does these ones, so it doesn't deal with Vauxhall or Opel, right? So we'll then go under immobilizer. It's probably because this is a cheaper tool. So we go under, there's Opel. Ignition switched on. Okay. No failure. So probably the software's designed for the the top of the range, top down. Oh, let me see. Start again. It's trying to do something, but it bombed this out. So that tool will not do the job.